If you were one of the 4 other people that watched my video on Po Woodworker Wood Shop 3.0 actually is what it's called, then you heard the story about the garage door being closed on a computer desk that was being worked on, and it was just about done, and what happened to the garage door. Now the garage door is really messed up, and I've been really busy lately, and then I've been sick for the last 4 days, so I've done absolutely nothing. But now it's at the point where the garage door has been opened and closed so many times in this condition that it's now starting to really sag in the middle, to the point where it almost hits me in the head, and I'm not even 6 feet tall. So it's going to eventually just sag so much that it's going to pull the rollers right out of the tracks, and it's just going to collapse. And if it collapses, it collapses on my workbench and my table saw and items that I'm working on, and God forbid, those would be the things that I would rather than fall on one of my kids or my wife or myself. So what we're going to do is we're going to attempt to put this garage door back together in a workable condition, but we're going to have to be replacing things with wood. So now Bionic means using electronically controlled organs, and so bio and Nick for electric and biology, so or biological. So we're going to have to come up with a word for part machine and part wood. So we're going to see what happens when you have a Po wood shop and you need to fix a garage door and all you have is wood and you don't do aluminum work. Let's go check out the outside. The outside is it's just as bad too. Okay, here's how it looks from the outside. It's pretty bad. As you can see, the whole frame has actually separated from the wall quite a pretty good distance. And if you look at the garage door from the side, you can see how it's bowed out quite a bit, and then the inside or the bottom of it is curved in. So yep, we're going to see what we can do about getting this put back together and see if we can repair it with wood. So come on, let's see what we can do. First thing I'm going to do, obviously, is I'm going to remove the padlock, which is just kind of a added security tip that I got from Handyman Club of America. And then I'm going to remove this bracket right here that holds the opener arm. And what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to take this piece off, and this piece is going to be very difficult to bend back in place. This I won't be able to replace with wood. I need to figure out how to get this back up, and I have no way to heat it up to make it easier to bend. So I'm going to have to really work with that and see what I can do. These pieces here, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and use a 2x4 over there, and I'm just going to go ahead and just rip and cut a piece of 2x4 down to the size of this, and just go ahead and replace this with a wood piece and then screw it in from the outside. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pound all these back into, tap them all back into place, but they are ripped and torn in a few different spots all the way down the line here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a piece of wood long enough that adds a lot of extra support, and I'm going to put these back into shape, and I'm going to put some wood in there, and then just screw the wood up from the bottom of each one, and then put these braces back in. This one looks like it's alright. Doesn't look like I'm going to have to replace this one, and the rest of them down look like they're good. I don't have to replace them either. The hinges, I'm just going to have to do my best to repair them and get them back into shape. Maybe replace them with a couple of the others around that haven't been bent, because they got to be losing some of their temper by now, I'm sure. So that's what we're going to do. And so let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to remove the padlock. I'm going to go ahead and take this bracket off. I'm going to go ahead and take this brace off, and then I'm going to fasten the garage door, the top of it, to the wall about in line where it's supposed to be, and then I can use that as a guide for the rest of the way down, straightening everything else out, and hopefully it works. But here at Po Woodworker Shop, we have no money to get this garage door fixed, So we have to do what we can to get it working because I can't use it right now. Alright, so let's do it. Okay, went ahead and took the top brace off, and as you can see, it is quite V'd. I don't know if you can get the whole perspective of just how much it's off, but yeah, it's off quite a bit. So I also took the top two middle braces off, the one that I'm going to replace, and this one that wasn't bent or damaged I'm going to use as a template, because the one that's bent, damaged, I could just go ahead and put it back into place and use that as a template, but this is, like I said on my shop video, this is not the first time this has happened, but this is definitely the worst, and I don't think it's going to be able to be repaired too many more times. So we're just going to go ahead and replace everything, well, not everything, but a few parts with wood. Okay, so got the top brace on or off. I've got the garage door fastened to the wall, so it's going to stay there for me. And now what we're going to work on is we're going to go each row of seam right there. I have to go through, pound them back into shape, and then what I'm going to do is on the parts where they're split and they're in really bad condition, like this one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put strips of wood in here and brace them that way, so that'll strengthen that a little bit more, and then I can work on all this stuff later. But that's my boys did. That's a different story. But anyway, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and we're going to straighten all of these seams out, and we're going to see if we can get everything to sit normal and sit right, and then we can figure out what we're going to brace them with. Alright, so we'll be back in a few. And the way that I'm going to straighten these out is I'm just going to use like rubber mallets. I'm going to use hammers. I'm going to use this chisel that I keep flat or dull specifically for prying things and for using as backers and shaping things, and it works pretty good. I've used it on the garage door a couple of times, and it's put these seams back into shape a few times. So I'm going to go ahead and use that, and you know, I'll use whatever else I need to, I guess. As we get into this and get more involved in it, then I can go ahead and tell you what tools I used. Okay, be back in a few. Here's the first seam, pretty much reshaped. Much of the crease in it I'm not going to be able to get out, so that's going to have to be good. That should be enough to be able to get a brace up in there to reinforce the center of it. I don't have any way of putting my camera down to where you can see me working, so I can't really show you how I'm doing this. Unfortunately, you know, maybe, you know, if I get some more cash I could start doing that. But I'm just using things like pry tools to pry them back up to the basic shape. I'm using wood pieces. Here, let me go ahead and get up on this ladder a little bit real quick. I'm using wood pieces to put up in here that are just about the same size to where I can just kind of shape everything back. I'm also using a hammer, obviously a regular hammer. I'm also using a rubber mallet, and I'm also using my chisel, my dulled out chisel, which is perfect for prying in here, putting up into the seams to where you need to make a crease. If you need to make a crease, you can't do that with really just a hammer. So what I do is I use the edge of the chisel like this, wherever I need a crease, wherever that crease may be, and then I just hit up and just keep going along the line until I get that crease semi back into shape. And also I use it for like right here, it was split right here and bubbled out, and then you just kind of use a hammer just to get it all semi flat, and then I just went over it like this, going all the way down the seam just to kind of lock it back into place. And that's how I'm doing it. I would love to show you, but until I can get some kind of a tripod or something going here, and this is really blurry for some reason. Maybe I just don't have my glasses on. But alright, so now I'm going to move down to the next seam. I'm going to get that all into place, and then I'm just going to go down to each seam from there on. And so I'm going to put boards in here to reinforce this way, and then I'm going to replace this with the piece of wood, a 2x4 cut down to size, and then I'm going to replace this with the original, and then all of this paper and styrofoam I'll replace later. Alright, so I'll be back after the rest of the seams are done. Alright, well here we are. This is probably going to have to be our stopping point for today. I got somewhere I need to go with the fam, and this is taking a lot longer than I was expecting to. But here's the progress so far. Today I got the top beam, the support beam, I got that straightened out. Really it was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. All I did was just stand on it. And that straightened it out a lot, and then I just used a hammer to tap out a few other little spots, and came out actually pretty good. So got the seams, got a couple of the seams, got them braced. As you can see here, I have them braced with wood. Those screws that are sticking out, I'll take my little hacksaw and see if I can take those down flush. If not, then I'll just wait until I get a grinder and do it then. Just got wood supports here, just kind of these torn seams. I just wanted to support the torn seams a little bit better than what they were being supported. And then just finish up the last two seams and we should be good. So this is the progress for today, and it worked out pretty good, and just kind of got it all back together. That's about as close as I'm going to get it, because it's torn and ripped, and I'm not a welder, so not much use for a welder in woodworking. But here we are. There's the end of day one of the garage door repair. Well, I was going to wait until I have a little bit more time to get back on this garage door, but it's at the point now where I really have to kind of make the time for it. So I'm going to go ahead and put my neighbor's bathroom stuff off on hold. I've got them gluing up, a couple pieces gluing up anyhow. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make that center brace that I'm putting in the first panel right there, the one that got really bent and is starting to split in one of the sides over here. Excuse me. So what I did was I went ahead and I just took a 2x4 and I cut it down to a manageable size that I could work with on my table saw. I have a small table saw, it's a beginner table saw. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to cut the sides off, just kind of square it up a little bit, and then make a template from there. And okay, I'm just going to go ahead and do that, and I'll be back. Okay, I got this 2x4 and I went ahead and just ripped the sides to where, like I said, I just needed them flat and square, and I rounded up like the 2x4 was. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and use this, and I'm just going to duplicate it more or less, and that's that is. Instead of being the hollow aluminum, it's going to be solid wood. So, alright, so I'm going to go ahead and rip this down to size. I'm also going to use my crosscut sled. And my crosscut sled, just to let you guys know how we do it here at Po Woodworker shop. This crosscut sled, I just took the front and the back off of a drawer, cut a slice through the middle of it, and reinforced it with some brads, and that's my crosscut sled. So, and I'm going to next try to make one of Steve Ramsey's miter sleds that looks pretty good, and I need it because I don't trust this miter gauge that comes with the saw. But anyway, back on this. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to rip this down to the width, and then I'm going to go ahead and cross cut it down to the size, and then be back in just a few, and when we have this right size. Got the 2x4 cut down to size, got it put into place, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and screw it in from the top, and I'm going to screw it in from the bottom, and I might put 1 or 2 screws from the outside, bringing it so it pulls this in tight against this. And then I'll go ahead and put the stock, the original one, back on, and then we'll go from there. Well, I did end up having to cut another brace here for this center piece also, because once I put the stock brace back in there, it was really too long, because what it's supposed to do is it's supposed to go down underneath here and hook onto this little lip, and it comes all the way down to here. I would have had to have split the boards to get that old brace in, and that kind of defeated the purpose of having these boards in here for a brace across the tops here. So I went ahead and just eliminated that and put another one, just cut another 2x4 down to size, and I shot it just a metallic silver, just so it doesn't stand out quite so much. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and attach these hinges onto here, and then we'll I want to try and get a support brace across, like this long support brace that goes across here. I want to see if I can maybe put a 2x4 across here, but obviously one 2x4 is not long enough, so I'll have to see if I can maybe half lap it right here in the middle and see what I can do just to give it a little bit more support as well. But that'll be at the end when we're all done, and we'll see if I can even make two 2x4s reach far enough. Alright, so that's what I'm going to go ahead and do now. I'm going to go ahead and put these hinges back on, both these sides right here, and I'll be back in just a few. Alright, got the brackets back on, or the hinges back on. I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to open it just a little bit from the outside. I'm going to go outside and open it, and just each section, just go ahead and drive a couple screws up this way and a couple screws down this way, just to kind of give it in each seam, just to kind of give it a little extra support. And then I'll check and see what I can do about that brace going across this way. That's quite a distance. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do it, but we'll see. And I have styrofoam in the back, so I'm just going to go ahead and replace all this styrofoam, so I'm not worried about that. Went ahead and painted everything metallic silver, so it doesn't stand out quite so much. These I'll go ahead and paint white, just like the rest of the garage door. And then replace the styrofoam and the paper, and should almost be like a brand new garage door. But right now I'm just going to go ahead and go on the outside, put the screws going in from the different directions for these support braces right here, and that should work. And we'll be back in a few. End of day 2 garage door repair. It's pretty much done. I just need to straighten out this little seam right here, which shouldn't really take too long, and reconnect this right here. Tomorrow morning I'll go ahead and reconnect that, and everything should be done. I did, like I said, I did go ahead and replace this one, and I did replace this one as well. Both of those are wood. I just went ahead and painted them in metallic silver, so they kind of blend in a little bit and don't stand out quite so much. Went ahead and made the support brace here. What it is, it's two 2x4s in the back, and the 2x4s, obviously one 2x4 wasn't long enough to do this whole garage door. So I actually have them, one of them ended right here, one of them ended right here. So I built another spacer here. You can't really totally see it. And I glued it and braided them together, and then screwed it all to this and glued it to this as well. And then I also just took this sheet of plywood, and it was just a sheet. I didn't cut it down any. All I did was just kind of rip it a little bit thinner, and that was about it. And then a piece that I took off of it, that I ripped off of it, I just went ahead and braided up here under the top to add just like a little extra support, I guess you could say. And that's it. And that's pretty much done. And that's how we do it at Po Woodworker. We don't have the money to fix a garage door, so we use wood that we have around, and we fix it. I've had it opened manually, and it is working. Tomorrow I want to let this glue dry, because I did laminate this on here. I laminated it, braided it, and screwed it, so it should be pretty good. It does still sag a little bit in the middle, but I could certainly live with it. And there we go. And then tomorrow morning I'll hook it all up after the glue dries and sets overnight, and we'll go ahead and open it up. And the shop is a mess though, but I'll clean it up in the morning. Alright, end of day 2. Garage door is done. Good morning, Po Woodworkers. Okay, I went ahead and let this sit overnight, and went ahead and put that seam back together a little bit. It was pretty bad, so I think that's about as good as I'm going to get it. Went ahead and hooked everything back up. Got the opener arm hooked up to it. Now, I went ahead and greased up everything, everything that I could anyhow. A lot of these hinges right here, it's really hard to get the grease inside, but I did just go ahead and grease them up a little bit so everything will slide a little bit smoother. And gonna go ahead and give it a shot, and I did, like I said, I did manually test it last night, and by the way, I did have one casualty last night when I was working on this yesterday. In the Battle of Garage Door, my crosscut sled took a hit and is no more, so now I'm gonna have to make another crosscut sled. But anyway, I did test it manually last night, and it did work. So we're gonna try it with the garage door opener, and you're getting the first shot of it, of testing it. So if it collapses, you're gonna see it. Here we go. Nope. Too heavy, I think. Won't pull it up. Alright, let me check into it. Be right back. Alright, well, I think the wood may have put a little too much weight on it, so it won't open with the garage door opener. It'll still close with the garage door opener, but hey, it's manual, it's open, and it's usable, and that's good enough for me for right now. Yes, I need new bulbs. I need new bulbs over there too. I need 6 of them, but alright, so here's the garage door, the Battle of Garage Door. I wouldn't say it was a total victory, but it's usable.